So today I have a primer overview for you all. Now I had a request on a review of a certain primer, so I thought I might as well review a whole lot of them in one and kind of get out of the way what kind of primer you should be using for what skin type and for what skin concerns. So the main idea of a primer is that you put it under your foundation to stop the makeup absorbing into your face and to also stop any wearing off of makeup, to stop excess oil production and getting shiny during the day. And you can also get different effects like illuminating primers and things like that. It also stops the absorption of the foundation, so that way it's not going to cause any blemishes. So a primer is a really good thing to use. You will get a lot longer wear out of your foundation if you use a primer, so you won't have to touch up during the day. So it is worth an investment. So I've got a few different primers that I've tried recently, and I like most of them, so I'll let you know which ones I found are best for what. Okay, so to begin with, I've got the Inglot under makeup base, which is the same as the Smashbox primer. This is a silicone based primer, so it feels really quite slippery when you put it on. It's a gel. It fills in the pores and fine lines in the face, no worries. It also absorbs all your excess oil, so you're not going to get shiny during the day. But something like this can suffocate your skin. So if you do have a problem with heaps of breakouts, especially around this area here, then this one probably isn't a great idea because it is going to just seal off your face. This one, again, is very similar to the Dr. Brandt Pores No More. The only thing with the Dr. Brandt is that it actually has a tint to it and it's a moisturizer as well as a primer. So this is terrific for oily skin. You won't get any shininess by the end of the day with this. And you can also see that it's filling in the pores and fine lines. It's a pore concealer. So you can use this under your foundation or you can use it on your own. So any men that have any worries about wearing makeup out and they want to cover up their pores, this is good for them as well, and it's moisturizing too. It's very similar to the Napoleon perdis pore minimizer and mattifier. The only difference between the two of these is that this one doesn't have a moisturizer in it, so it feels a tiny little bit thicker, but they do both do virtually the same thing. There are different kinds of bases. They're more the silicone-based primers where they're quite thick to feel, and then you can move on to ones that are like a lotion. So they're like a cream, and this is the Nars primer. This one's just a little bit thicker than like a serum, and you can feel it really slip over the top of the skin. Now, the Nars primer you can get in with an SPF or without. I've got it without because SPFs tend to break me out a lot. But this one I find is great for people who have drier skin because it is a lotion. It's not going to fill in the pores as much as a silicone-based primer, but it is going to stop any absorption of the foundation into the skin because this is sealing the hydration in. It's also adding extra hydration. This one is great if you have those flaky spots because the makeup won't stand out on top of them as much. One like this also is just generally better for dry skin. If you have oily skin, it's not going to do as much for you because what you want to do is cover up that shininess by the end of the day, and this one you will get a little bit shiny. It's not as bad as some different ones, but this one, yeah, more for drier skins. It's the same with the Kevyn Aucoin one, which I mentioned in my last review. I found that when I was wearing that more often, I was getting shinier around the nose, and that's a little thicker than the Nars one, but I found that that one fills in the pores just a little bit more. It's not really that much of a difference. Now, I do have the Stila Illuminating Tinted Moisture, which is great as a primer. This one has an SPF in it. It comes in two different shades, which is like a warm and a cool one. It's sparkly, like when you put it on it's got a real sheen to it. So it's going to give you that really dewy, like glowing from within type look. It's fairly thick as well. It's going to fill in the pores and fine lines. It's going to add, because it's got moisture in it, it's going to add that moisture to the skin, but you will have to use a moisturizer underneath. Now, this one is great for giving me that really dewy look, but you will get shiny by the end of the day because that's what you're trying to achieve with this one. This is great for people with drier skin or who want to look really quite glowy and quite healthy. Definitely not for people who like a matte finish. Now, I've got the Prescriptive Super Line Preventer. Now, this is like a moisture serum. It's a serum that you put under or on top of your moisturizer. And it adds that extra boost of moisture to your skin. That way you don't have to worry about your skin fighting to get hydration during the day and pulling the makeup with it. So it's going to keep the makeup lasting all day. This one also provides like an anti-aging effect as well. So this one's like a 2-in-1. It's going to prevent lines, it's going to minimize pores over time, and it's also going to help your makeup last a little bit longer. Now, with some different primers, I've found if they've got a different base to your foundation, they're going to start pilling up. So it's like congealing. If you put say the Present primer from Philosophy, and then you put a prescriptive foundation on top, then you're going to get this kind of patchy effect. It's all going to lump together because one is a silicone base, one is a water base, and so they repel and they don't want to sit evenly. So the best way to go, I know a lot of people like to use things from the same brand. Different brands make their primers to suit their foundations. So their primer is automatically going to be great to use with their foundation. And then if you're getting something from another brand, it's not necessarily going to be as good. I have a few different ones because I like to try different effects. I like to have more of a matte look, but if I'm using something for a couple of hours, say for photos or something like that, I might want something more illuminating. In the case of the Nars one, it's lighter, so it's nicer to use just for during the day, especially during summer. But I do get shiny, so I always use this one on my pores across my nose because that's where I get really, really shiny. This one is by far my favourite, but it won't suit all skin types. If you have any dryness, that will affect the dryness. It'll make it look a lot drier, especially if you're putting different products over the top. It's going to really accentuate that dryness, and you're going to want to go for something that's more moisturising, like the Nars or even the Stila or the Prescriptives. But the general rule is to stick with something from the same brand, or stick with something that you know doesn't affect it badly. So I hope this was useful to you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Read my lips, I'm into you, can't resist, you're so high, get me into that